What's up? You don't have enough sunscreen on. What's going on?
All right. What do you got there, Kyle?
Yep. So this morning we're gonna have a big planting day.
Okay.
So I was thinking right off the hop we were gonna get Jim on the mini, maybe plant the bigger trees first thing this morning, and then we're gonna jump on the smaller plants. Brian is gonna help out with planting today. I'm gonna go with the carpentry crew. Yeah, so let's really try and hammer down all the small plants and get those in today.
Yep.
I'd like to get all the bigger stuff planted too today and make sure we get everything watered. Wailu, if he can set up watering again probably this morning, make sure we get all the trees that were just planted done.
Yeah, the last couple days have been really good. We've made a lot of progress in a bunch of different areas. So our rain day yesterday kind of messed up our plans quite a bit. So carpenters went over and completely finished out the food shacks. There's a few last items like the barbecues to install and that old Coca-Cola cooler they found at a vintage shop. They put that in there for beer. Inside the barn, we cleared out the subfloor, so the first floor that was there, we tore that out. Well, the carpenters that are from here did the top floor, so the barn looks way different inside now. That was kind of all we could do with the rain because it was so wet we couldn't even use the machines. Other than that, the carpenters have been making really good progress on our timber structures out back. All the beams are up, posts are up, beams are up, rafters are up, the ridge beam's up, so they're just working on roofing now. They're finishing off the decks, both of them. They should have both of them done by the end of the day today. Other than that, it's been a little bit of grading, defining those edges like we were doing the other day, running out string lines, and then pulling the soil up to it along the gravel edges so everything looks nice and uniformed. But other than that, we're getting close. Just final details this week.
Tell me a bit about the planting.
So planting, we have 8 purple beech left, and then I think there's around 20 or 30 of those small little pines, the 4-foot ones in the small baskets. So hopefully if it dries up enough today, we'll get the machines on the dirt and then we can start running them. Again, it's just so sloppy, we don't want to be working backwards, so we're keeping all the machines off the soil still. So if it gets dry, we'll plant the rest of those trees, and then other than that, I wouldn't say all of them, most of the perennials and shrubs are laid out. Raylene and Tamara did both whole sides of the barn, the long stretcher garden bed with all the grasses, and then the rest of it is all these smaller plants, still a bunch of grasses, shrubs, and then my sister's restaurant needs some plants today, so I think we're going to send a little crew over there to do that. Other than that, there's still a good half of our plants to do. I think more. I think there's like still 3/4 of that truck and trailer to do. So lots of planting.
So I'm just placing all these plants. This part wasn't really planned on the design. I mean, it was planned in my head, but I just ordered a bunch of different plants, and then I'm just kind of going on a whim placing them. So there's no real order. I'm just going about placing them around, and we're still trying to keep off the dirt. So we are loading them onto the truck and bringing them over because we're not using the machines to get the dirt across the gravel. It's a slow morning, I'm sorry. Can you tell I'm having trouble finding my words?
just looks like it's always been there.
So we finished planting around the courtyard and around these beds here. So almost done all around the barn. We've done a lot of ornamental grasses, and we have some limelight hydrangeas, junipers, daylilies, some catmint, and some geraniums. So we did try to plant in like mass amounts, so they kind of all flow together. I often find that looks better when you kind of plant larger clumps together. It gives more of an effect. Actually, I am a big fan of ornamental grasses, so like this is my dream right here behind you. Just using different heights, sizes, textures, and making it kind of go like a sea of grasses. I do love that. Not that I don't love flowers, but this is very cool to me. We're also using some native roses. So we don't want too high maintenance of gardens just because it's a big property. So we're using some native roses that will just bloom basically all summer long into the fall. So that'll be really nice.
Yeah, we have a music festival upcoming the next couple days here, just 10 minutes away from where the project is and just a bit further from where the guys are staying. So we'll meet up with all the guys there the next couple nights and listen to some music, eat some food, have some drinks and hang out. I think it'll be a good opportunity for everyone to relax and hang out together outside of work.
We split up to about 80, and we lost sight of the thing. Then within about a minute, and all of a sudden...
It's always good to find little excuses like this just to spend time with the team, and I think it's really important for just team building in general. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think the guys are too. It'll be lots of fun.
Over the last couple of days, we've gotten all the posts and beams up for these two additions on the homes. They're like enclosed porches. Yeah, we've been working on those. We got our post up with the excavator, and then we had Jimmy driving the Zoom boom that we have here on site, putting up our beams. We got these large 25-foot 12 by 12s, and yeah, we had our rafters pre-cut at the shop. It was nice to see those go in. They fit perfectly. It's always so satisfying to see the work that you prepped months ago go in without any issues. Just all the amazing joints, seeing how nice everything come together. We just got off the roof putting on all the 1x12. We got tongue and groove 1x12. We just banged that off on both sides. Now we're just going to do a deck roof and then trim off all their edges. And we'll be off onto the next building in no time.
We're going up top right now to cut off all the extra boards that overhang. Gonna get a nice uniform edge so that we can finish doing our deck roof.
So today it's 8:30. We've been going really good. We've put some strapping down on the roof with some insulation, getting it prepared for the metal guys to come in, putting on the metal roof. They already did the other side on Friday or Saturday. So now Monday morning, we're killing it, and we're almost done this first half of the roof over here. Once we're done, we're gonna move all our operation over to this roof, and we're gonna try to get that one done probably before break or after break. I don't wanna put a timeline on it. But yeah, it should be done by the end of the day. Other than that, we got Jake and Mark. They're putting a little pathway over here to run off the deck here. So when you walk out, you have a nice little path. You can walk to the side of the house here, and then they got their firewood over here. They're gonna be able to, in the winter, come out, grab their firewood, go back inside, nice and easy. Yeah, so today, yeah, it's pretty good. We're all like, seems like all 8 cylinders are going, maybe like a V10 today. So yeah, we've got a lot of horsepower.
All right, this morning I'm gonna start a gravel pathway heading from the front of the main house to the back deck now that it's done. We were originally thinking of grading out with soil as well as a wooden ramp going down. But as we looked at it longer, the grades weren't quite gonna work out, and it was gonna end up looking really funny and would have been a plain, ugly, flat hill. So we're now gonna add a big pathway in through here. We have to come up really high with the gravel, so we're gonna come up with a solution here in a bit to ramp it down. But other than that, we have to put the gravel pathway flush with the small door leading to the basement, and then also with our deck off the back. So we're gonna start throwing down some gravel here. Yeah, so I started off by setting some string lines up, just square off the houses. We needed our pathway 5 feet wide, so what I did is I went to the back deck section there, and off the center board coming off of the deck, we measured 2.5 feet off each side of that, and then that's our 5 foot, and came straight off of that. And then we lined those 2 string lines up with the ones coming off the door leading to the basement, which created an L-shaped bed around the house, as well as our nice L-shaped path here coming through. So once all of our gravel's in, we'll use the string lines to set our height, the same string lines, and then we'll just go along and scrape off of that and compact.
111?
All right, so we're almost on our gravel path here. So we got the straight line coming off the deck, and then the L heading out towards the main driveway loop. So now that we have that defined and figured out how high up we're going over the gravel, our solution ended up being these big armor stones that we got delivered anyways for placement around the property and in the gardens to add some focal points. We're using them along that gravel shelf because it was over 2 foot of gravel, and we didn't want to just throw a bunch of soil up and make it basic looking. So we came through the armor stone and placed one continuous line all the way around the gravel. And then after that, we've kicked it out even further, and we've wrapped it around the whole front of the deck to kind of tier the soil is typically the term. So what we're doing here now is as some of the guys are finishing the grading and leveling on the pathway, the rest of us are coming in and raking through. So what we're doing is just slowly coming down from top of gravel and tapering out to existing grades, so it looks like there's kind of like a rocky, mountainy kind of hill blending up into the house, which I think looks really cool. We kind of did this in the show garden towards the back. There's a bit of an example of it, but I think this will look really neat once it's all planted and the grass has been mixed in. I think it's gonna look amazing. But I've always found this really fun, placing the big rocks first and then coming in after and dumping the soil and then raking from there. I think it's pretty neat. But it's a lot of fun, and it always ends up looking good. So I think this will fit really nice at the back of the house, especially with the big timber beams and everything.
Today we're just dealing with the grading. We built a new pathway along the side between the two houses, and there was quite a bit of grade difference. So we created kind of this rock garden where it's we randomly placed all these big boulders in, so it's kind of gonna look really cool. And then we're gonna do pockets of plants. So trying to mimic each side. So right now I've just put in a bunch of spirea, and then we'll fill it in with perennials, but again, just planting around, it's really windy, planting around the rocks, so it'll fill out and look really cool in the end. It's having a challenging day because it's so dusty and windy, and it's very sandy soil, so it's super fun, with a capital F-U-N.
Carpenters almost wrapped up the roof this morning, so we got busy with building all the transition grading here. So getting all the rocks in, we had about a 3.5–4 foot grade change from the deck down to the lawn level. So we were putting all the boulders in to really make that work. And of course we wanted a really natural looking rock garden. Didn't want to stack the rock. I'm personally not a big fan of stacked armor stone walls. We like to naturalize and spread the rocks out a little bit, slope the grade wherever possible, and really plant it. I just think it looks a lot more natural than a cubical stone all piled up on itself. So we're really just kind of getting all the grades right. We're gonna have some sod pathways that come down from the deck down to this lower grade. Left one section over here wide enough for the mower to get up and just kind of cut that swath in front of the deck as we transition down to grade. There's just one step there, and on the side we actually ramped it with no steps so that we could just walk right around to the front yard without having any steps at all if ever there's wheelchair access or anything like that.
Got a wheel drilling company in today because there is hardly any water pressure on the property. From all the watering, all the different structures, irrigation, hoses, showers, toilets, all the rest of it on the property, even regardless without the irrigation that we all installed, there still was hardly any water pressure. So they're drilling a second well on the property to accommodate for that. So For this big barn especially, once that interior is completely done, there's going to be 14 toilets, 14 bathrooms, and 14 showers, and all the kitchen stuff, then the stuff in the bars, then the laundry room. It's just going to pile up, and it's going to need its whole own service. So it's kind of required to have this second well put in, or else you're going to be having droplets coming through your plumbing. So getting the second well in today, and then the plumbers will be in here for a week or two figuring that all out, which I'm sure they'll have fun with. So.
Lots of progress here this week. We've been doing a ton of planting. So Raylene and Tamara have been busy with all the layout and getting all the on-site design work refined. We always design on paper, but when you get out to a job like this big, it's often much easier to really field place the plants and refine things. You can see over here behind me, the guys are just putting in the plants that go around the courtyard garden. So there's a bit of an order of operation to this. All of the pathways are going to actually be a really fine pea stone gravel. So we've laid all the gravel in. We've got about 8 inches, sometimes 12 in places of sub base. And then what we're going to do is we're doing all the planting and the initial phase of mulching, and then we're actually going to be putting in a steel edging around everything, and it's an actual angle iron, a really stable angle iron, and then we'll fill up the final finish on the pathways. So the big push this week is to get all of these small plants in so that that steel work can continue. So we had a lot of rain, which has been holding us up, so we're trying not to run the machines today because the ground is really muddy. The soil here in Prince Edward Island is really sticky clay, and if we're running the machinery back and forth, we're going to contaminate all of the gravel. So it's a little slow, but we're actually moving the plants around the site with the truck and keeping the truck on the gravel. Sometimes you just have to do things the slow way. Slow is fast by times. We've certainly learned over the years that when you make a mess, you quickly regret it later. So we're just trying to keep the site clean here this morning and hoping it dries up by noon. But you can see over here they've got all of these grasses in. These gardens are all meant to be really big, flowy mass plantings of grasses. We're really trying to keep with the coastal feel and kind of tie the coastal into the farm. So really natural planting. That's what's kind of happening here. You can see with the tree planting along the property line. We're really trying to reestablish nature. So it's more of a mass planting of trees. We've got spruce and fir and white pine all interspersed with some native species of shrubs, some service berries and redbuds, really just to kind of reestablish a tree line. So in the future, this will just kind of look like a forest edge, and we want the grasses to kind of just fill in more like a field. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see in here, but we'll see if we can get a look at what we did yesterday. So you can just see the amount, like the mammoth amount of wood that came out. It's just skid after skid after skid, and we've already actually moved some out back, but a lot of big beams, all kinds of excellent wood. So we're excited to do some more things with that. So yeah, in here yesterday, you can see the old floor here at the back. It's still sort of in place, and you can see this new floor. We actually came in and put concrete holes in the concrete floor and put all of the new foundations in, and then we stood up all of the steel and built a steel structure, and then put all of the new LVL floor joists in up above. And then we actually came in yesterday and we took out all of the old hayloft floor, which you can kind of see the remnants of it back here. So yesterday what we were doing is we were cutting off all of the old floor supports, removing it all. We had 2 excavators and a skid steer in here yesterday. It was a pretty busy day. But what we basically took out was this old structure that you see here behind me all the way back to that door yesterday. So you can see all the stubs of the old floor sticking off the walls here still, but we took all of this out and now you can see up top this beautiful ceiling that will be the future conference center. So we're getting pretty excited about that. This side over here will be 7 hotel rooms. Over here we'll have 7 hotel rooms. Back here there's a commercial kitchen, and then we've got dining area here for 60, and up in the back with the windows that look down onto the courtyard, that's going to be a boardroom for 30 people. So really kind of setting it up for corporate retreats, and of course we want to use it for family and friends as well. So as we come out of the barn here, we're going to be walking into the courtyard, and up above us here will be the boardroom, kind of looking down on the courtyard. And what we wanted to do was make this courtyard a outdoor eating area for 60 to 80 people. In the center there's going to be a beautiful reflecting pool and just kind of tables all around with some really nice umbrellas. So it'll be a really nice spot to have meals when we've got events going on here in the summer months. So all the pathways are roughed in. They're all at the height now where we can go ahead and start putting in that edging. And we've got sod coming this week as well. So we plan to start sodding. Should probably wrap up the sod over the next week and a half. And that always really puts the finish on things. Sometimes it feels like we're working for a month and there's not much happening, and then all of a sudden, wham, the sod goes in and seems like the job was done in a day. It's fun, but at the same time, sometimes a little depressing to think of just how much work happens before that finish layer.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up the week here. It went amazing. We're sticking to schedule really well. So this week was a lot of tree planting, a lot of small plants going in the ground. We have most of the small plants done. There's just a few garden beds to finish off now. Carpentry wise, the carpenters finished off the roofs, which look amazing. There's just a couple more touch-ups on certain things next week. And then on top of that, we did our kind of rock tier down from the back deck. So the grade would have been a little funny if we just decided to taper down from the deck down to the swale. It would look a little funny and would just be like a long gradual hill. So we ended up placing some rocks in and then adding our soil in. So it kind of looks like a natural kind of rocky hill leading up to the deck. And then we also put some trees and plants in there, and then a gravel pathway from the front of the house kind of wrapping into the rock tier, which looks pretty neat. So we got a lot done this week and we're sticking to schedule, and yeah, I'm excited for next week.
Chicken nugget. No, it's not. It was fully the whole time.